I want to thank all of you for getting me across the line over 5,000 subs on my YouTube channel. And so in today's video, I am making my very own YouTube play button using epoxy resin. Let's jump right in. So we're going to be making a mold to make the play button. And for that, I have had this play button sort of 3D printed. Well, actually, I didn't actually get it custom printed, but these are just available on eBay and they're essentially 3D printed. And I got one of these and hopefully we are going to be able to make a mold of this. And in order to make the mold, I'm going to be using this Silicone Rubber by Let's Resin. They have ever so kindly sent me this kit and I haven't made a lot of molds before, so I am a little bit nervous, but let's see how it goes. The kit I'm very impressed with. It comes with a ton of things and essentially everything you need to make a mold. It came with those sort of like cookie cutters / housings to make the mold, gloves, mixing cups, sticks, and that's the silicone itself. And this is a 1:1 ratio silicone, which is helpful and because I am not very good at math. So here goes, let's get mixing. This silicone is to be mixed by weight to get it more accurate. So that's what I'm going to do. And at first, you're going to see me mix like the tiniest amount. And I'll show you why in a minute. But basically, I'm just mixing a tiny amount at first. Okay, so before I go ahead and make the mold of the play button, I want to test that this silicone is compatible with the button itself, because not all silicones are compatible with 3D printed stuff, and all that is a little technical and I'm not sure how it all works, but I'm not going to be the one to waste all of that silicone only to find out it didn't work. So we're going to do a little test first, because better safe than sorry. So what we're going to do is pour this tiny little silicone into the little sort of triangular cavity of the play button. And then this way we do our test, we only use tiny amount, and also I get a nice little insert, like a triangle insert if I want to use ever again. So that's what we're doing. Now I do have a super tiny amount of silicone still left and I don't want to waste it. So I might make another another micro mold. So I'm using this casing that came in the kit itself, and I'm using this sticky back plastic to put down, and I am making a mold of this little candy. I think it's made of clay, I'm not sure, but here goes. I'm just pouring the rest of it in, and this way I have another little something rather than wasting that silicone. Don't you just love it when you're making something and you have extra material and you end up getting like some bonus art with it? Love it. So now we're going to leave both of these things to cure and we will be back the next day to see if it's worked. Fingers crossed.
The next day.
It's the next day. I am starting with this bonus mold that we made, and wow, that was so easy to get off the plastic and get off the cutter, and that's our little mold. It is so cute. Love it. I'm gonna be definitely using this, but that might be a reel, so head over to my Instagram if you're not following me on Instagram and you might see me use this mold. But now moving on to the test that we did, the very crucial play button test. Let's see if that's worked. So I'm just using this sort of plastic soft toothpick just to loosen it off the edge so I can actually get it out. And there it is. Love it. It has worked perfectly. So, which means we are good to go to make a mold of this play button, and I have a perfectly good insert. Love that. Okay, so now to the actual main project. For my mold, I'm just going to be using this plastic container. I think it works pretty well with regards to the size. And so we're going to go ahead and hot glue some of the back of this play button and essentially just push it down into the plastic and get it nice and secure. So that's glued on. As you can see from the back, that seems good to go. And we are once again ready to mix up some silicone and get going with this mold. Now, I don't know how much this is going to take. Of course, you could use the water method or the rice method to put stuff in and then weigh that to know how much of the material you're going to use. But let's face it, I am lazy. And we're just going to eyeball it and then mix some more if we need some. So yeah, that's my approach. I am feeling pretty confident using the silicone because it has a long working time. And I did try and mix it slowly because I didn't want to introduce too many bubbles, but this is looking really good. So I am feeling quite confident. I have used a silicone before just off of Amazon. I don't even remember what brand it was. And that wasn't the best to use, to be honest. So, but I do feel good about this one. And now for some satisfying, seductive silicone pour.
Time's been moving slowly, so we already in too deep. Can't get no sleep on each other, heavy teasing all day. And when the sun sets, you asking me to come through, kick it with you. Night turn into morning dew. Then you.
Okay, mold is now completely covered, and so we're going to leave this to cure and be back the next day.
The next day.
It's the next day and we are good to unmold our mold. Anyway, so here we go, just loosening it from the edges and hopefully I should be able to get it out soon. And it's out. I'm just going to go ahead and rip off all of that glue, and then finally we should be able to unmold our button. There is some cleanup to do on the button itself, and it's not too bad, just a few tiny bit of glue that I can sort out later. But first, unmolding, yay! Feeling confident, guys, really feeling, oh, look at that. I am so happy right now. If only you could see how happy I was. That looks amazing. It is perfect. So happy. Pat on the back for me for making an awesome mold. For all of you guys that have done this a zillion times, well, it's my first time, so I'm gonna milk it for a bit. So anyway, so now we are ready for our actual resin pour. And before that, I decide I want to do some cleanup. And I thought it would be, you know, like the satisfying sort of cleanup that all of these mold makers do on Instagram. But I have to say, because I have no practice of this, my attempt was pretty rubbish. But here it is anyway. So I have mixed up my J Diction Officials resin and I'm putting down a layer of some clear resin. And that's going to be the base of this piece. And we will come back for the rest once this is a little bit, well, not a little bit tacky, but once it's sort of thickened up a bit. After which I have decided that this is going to be a super spring inspired play button, because honestly, like, it is so cold still where I am right now in London. It is gloomy and raining and really, really cold, you guys. But in my head, I am really, really trying to get into the spring mindset. Like, you know, I'm looking at all of these cherry blossoms around and I'm just like, how is it not spring yet? So this is my attempt to bring some spring in. And we are going to be filling this up all the way pretty heavily with some dry flowers. And while I carry on doing that, I want to take this moment once again to thank you guys so much for helping me get to over 5,000 subs. My channel was monetized not long ago and it has been hard. It's really hard to grow your channel on YouTube, and I'm just glad I have you guys for support. And you know, there's a long way to go. 5,000 in the scheme of things is not much, and I'm well aware, but I will celebrate the small steps along the way, and I'm really grateful. And for those of you that haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do that. Like, comment. I really appreciate all the engagement that we have on here. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that I always reply to all the comments, and if you do have any questions, leave them down and I will get back to you. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I've been there for a while now, and once again, I always respond and post a lot of content on there as well. Now, anyway, moving back to this. So this was pretty satisfying. I just went and dotted around flowers, different types, different colors, just so many, picking and choosing from so many of the ones that I had lying around. And as you can see, I have gone ahead with a very heavy coverage with the flowers. I do want this to be like super flowery. So I have kind of tried to literally cover every little corner that there is. And once I'm happy with it, we are going to go ahead and do another layer of resin. And for that, I'm going for this sort of semi-transparent grayish color. I just love the contrast of the dark against all of these bright flowers. So that's just the color I've gone for. And with me as a person, like, black is literally a vibe. Like, I'm wearing black mostly, like literally all the time. So yeah, gone ahead, fill that up, gonna pop some bubbles that are up top, and we will let this cure. And I am so excited to unmold this. So see you guys tomorrow. Okay, so for some reason I have lost the footage of me unmolding this. I don't know how it happened, and honestly, that would have been so exciting to show you guys, but let me show you what it looks like. And also the other step that I don't have footage of, which was I think lost altogether, was me filling in the triangle bit. Now what I want to do is sand it, and for that I'm using my lumberjack belt sander. Works really well, and I'm going to leave you with my discount code of the silicone and the sander and my resin, all of it along with my discount codes in the description below. So after some sanding, I want to move on to top coat. And before I do that, I want to go ahead and apply some liquid latex on the back of the mold, just because this way then when I do my top coat, I won't have any drips and I won't have to sand it down again. You could use PVA glue. I just happen to have a ton of latex, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that. And I just literally apply it with my fingers, just because it's pretty satisfying to peel off the latex off your finger once it's dry. Yes, I know, I'm a child. I'm literally a child.
Oh, really?
Anyway, we are ready for top coat, but before I do that, I have this decal that I got printed, and it says my channel's name, and it says for passing 5,000 subs on YouTube. This is similar to the one that you have on the actual play button, and so I just had to, guys. I had to. I could not resist, and I've gone for gold on that. So now we are finally ready for some satisfying top coat. I'm going to pour some resin down, let it flow all the way down the slides. Use my hands, fingers. This is another sensual resin pour for you guys. Wow, 2-in-1 video. Aren't you guys lucky? And this is the reveal. Love how this turned out. I am absolutely in love with it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.